Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Give thanks to Allah, we have blessing on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his also companions and all Muslims. As we know, our brothers and sisters who have been following us, we are treating Nahw Class, and we are in class 0054, that's class 54. Today, inshallah, we will not use the notes. Our topic of discussion is al-ism, al-mu'tal, al-akhir. The subtopic is al-munqoos. Last time, that was yesterday, we treated al-maqsur. So today we are treating al-manqoos, wa'ahwal, إعرابه. So today, before we go into the manqoos in the textbook using our kitab al-muqarrar, we need to look at this first, some introduction to the manqoos, because it has some explanation, so we need to look at them. So what is manqoos? So a manqoos is a noun. A manqoos noun is a noun ending with a binding ya. The binding ya is called ya'ul lazima. So, and when you see ya'ul lazima, so after the ya, before the ya, which always has a kasra before it. So when you see that, a manqoos will always have a ya ending. So that ya will always have a kasra before it. So example is al-qadi, the judge. You can see the judge. This is the ya we call the ya'ul lazima. This is the ya we call the ya'ul lazima. So there's always a kasra before it. So do we get now? There's always a kasra before it. So that's that. Another example is al-muhami. This is a mistake. Al-muhami means the lawyer. So it's not a caller, it means lawyer. So al-muhami, this will be corrected. We also have another example of a manqoos, al-aidi, the plural of yadun. Yadu is ant. Al-aidi means the ants. Plenty ant is aidi. Allah said, وَالسَّمَاءَ بَنَيْنَاهَا بِأَيْدٍ وَإِنَّا لَمُوسِعُونَ. That's the summer that banana we built with ants. وَإِنَّا لَمُوسِعُونَ. And we are the one that are expanding it. So you can say ID, the ants. That is that. So today's class we want to look at how those manqoos are in their nokra and marifa states. So he said the manqoos, the first is a manqoos in nokra state. When it is in nokra state, said the ya of a manqoos is hidden in nokra state when it is taking raw form, domo-like signs, and jarun, kasra-like signs. When it is taking that, so the ya will be hidden. For instance, look at this hala to referring. This manqoos is often because it's a cover. I know it's cover is your cover is always marfu. For example, fa'ilun mod. Astaghfirullah. This is a nat. This is a nat. So, for example, fa'ilun madi. It's like saying fa'ilun madiyun. You know, this is a nat. A nat will always follow his manut. The manut is taking rafun. It's taking domatan. So this one's supposed to be what? Madiyun. But we can't write this madiyun because this is a manqoos. So what we are trying to say is that the ya here is not visible. So let me read again. It said the ya of a manqoos is hidden in nokra state. When it's in nokra state, that was a feel more than. That's when you check your dictionary like verbs, they will always open a bracket and put ya there, but it will not be written. So because it's in rough state. Also, hala to jar, when it's taking jari, it will also be what hidden, like Nozori to ila feeling modin. I look at feeling modin in a textbook, for instance, feeling modin. So it's like feeling modin, but you can't write it this way because it's a manqoos. So it will be written this way. The ya will not be visible because it's in jari state. It's in nokra and it's in jari state. So that's why it is called manqoos. Something that is deficient, is not complete. Because the hidden ya, that's where the name was derived from. So why the ya will be visible when it takes nasbu, but when a manqoos in nokra state is taking nasbu, your manqoos that is indefinite in nokra state is taking nasbu, the fertilizer sign, and when a rounded ta is attached to the nokra too, it is attached to its ends, so the ya will be visible. So when why the ya will be visible when it takes nasbu and when a rounded ta is attached to its end. So for example, we have ra'aytu qadiyan, I saw a judge. Qadiyan, you can see the ya is visible here. Qadiyan, you can see it's taking fatatan conveniently like other letters too. You also have here in the iqtitamu bitai, when the asta marbuta qadiyatun, you can see the ya comes out here. Qadiya, this is the ya lazim we told us about. Consider it is out here. So that's that. So another example in second case, a manqūs in ma'rifah state. We have looked at a manqūs in nakra state. Now to look at a manqūs when it is a ma'rifah, that when it's definite. So specifically, what we want to look at is when a manqūs is a mudaf. When a manqūs is a mudaf, or it is taking alif and lam of definiteness, that's al-ma'rifati. So the ya becomes visible in all constructions. Do we get now? The ya becomes visible in all constructions. So the ya will appear when your manqūs is mudaf or it is taking alif and lam. Do you get now? So for example, we have qadil mahkamati, the judge of the court. The judge of the court, you can see the ya is visible. Called the, do you get? Another example is what? The lawyer of the legitimate. So muhamil qasmi, the qasmi is a legitimate, somebody who comes to the court with a case. You get? So the muhamil is the lawyer of the legitimate. So that is that. You can see the ya is appearing. Another is what? ID him. This is very common. You see it in the Quran a lot. You can see that the ya is there. So ID, that's the nakra state. So when it's now used as a mudaf, it becomes what? ID. So ID him, that means their hand. You guys now. So this is very common in the Quran. That's why we cited it here. So when it is taking alif and lam of definite tense, the first one we have looked at here is when it is what? It is mudaf. You can see. Now we want to look at when it is taking alif and lam of definite, that's al-ma'rifati. So the judge, al-qadi, this is a mistake, is the lawyer, al-muhami, so al-ID. So this will be changed in the comments. When it is sent to the comment section, to be changed to lawyer. It means the lawyer. The ants, al-ID. So that is that. Now consider the years are appearing. So when we want to, tomorrow in the Nahw, the book we are using, we are going to, every example will be with the one that is taking alif and lam. So we don't want to limit us to what is in the textbook alone. That's why we introduce this topic. Now another addition I want to make is where you can find manqūs, because you are very good, you are very sound, you can also know where manqūs are. So how manqūs can be formed and their domains, so that we put domains where manqūs can be found. Said all ismul fa'il formed from verbs having defect at their ends. So if you have a verb having defect and you are forming ismul fa'il from it, so the ismul fa'il will be forming will be what? Will be manqūs. That's why all the manqūs here they are bolding. You can see murder. The ismul fa'il is murder, it passed away. So murdering, what passes away. You can see we have after, he gave a religious verdict. Somebody will give a religious verdict called what? Muftim. Do we get now? Manqūs, because it's having defect at the end. We have hama, he argue on something on behalf of another person that trying to protect the person. So that's muhamin, a lawyer. So you have tawala, something should be in succession. You get tawala. So ismul fa'il word mutawalin. So what is in what? In succession. Do you get now? So these are all ismul fa'il from verbs having defect at their end. Do you get now? So maqsud verbs. Do you get? The next one is masdar, verbal nouns of tafa'ala and tafa'ala that are having defects at their ends. So the masdar of maqsud too, so that is tafa'ala or tafa'ala. So when you see verb having defects at their end, do you get? And they are in this shape, tafa'ala shape or tafa'ala shape, their masdar will give you what? Their masdar is going to give you a manqūs. Their masdar is going to give you ismu manqūs. Do we get now? Look at this tamanna. This tamanna is what? Tafa'ala shape. So the masdar what? The masdar of tafa'ala is tafa'ulun. So because it's a manqūs, is give what? Tamannin. This is like saying what? Tamannuyun. Do you get? It's like saying tamannuyun, but we can't write that. So we wrote tamannin. So another is what? So tamanna is to hope for something that is not possible. Taroja is to hope for something that is very, very much possible to occur. So do you get now? Taroja. So masdar will be tarojin. So for instance, somebody is hoping that he should eat in the next 5 minutes and the food is already on fire. So that's the tarojin. But when you're hoping that you hope that Shaitan become a Muslim, that's the time when it will not happen. Or you're hoping that you should be as rich as Dangote. That's very difficult. We are not saying that it can't be possible. So because it's far from occurrence, we say it is a tamonim. So we have taroja, so tarojin, do we get now? So we also have tawalla, tafa'ala too. So the mother is what? Tawallin. So when it takes alif alam, it's what? At-tawalli, when it's taking alif alam. Like what the Prophet said in hadith, when he said, Ijtanibu sab'a mubiqat, you should stay away from 7 destructive sins. One of those sins the Prophet mentioned is what? At-tawalli yawm az-zahaf. Somebody should turn away on the day of war. You should turn your back away from the enemy and run away from the war front. Said at-tawalli. So that tawalli is from tawalla. So the mother is tawallin. So when it takes alif alam, it's going what? At-tawalli. You get now. Another example is what? Tawala, tafa'ala. It is in succession. So do you get now? So the mother word tawalin or at-tawali, if it's taking alif and lam. Tawali, you can say it's manqoos. Another is what? Tarada. So tafa'ala. So taradin. Do you get now? So that is that. Now plural of another way domain you can also find manqoos is the plural of suffix defective nouns. That means those nouns that have defect at their end, and you want those nouns in their singular form, they have defect at their ends. So you are now taking them to plural in the following patterns. The plural in fa'il or mafa'il or af'ulun. So they will also go, those plurals will be in manqoos. For instance, majrur, you can see the end of it is having what? So the end of it is having defect. So what will be the plural? Majarin, majarin, mafa'il. You can see majarin. So majarin. So you can see this is a mafa'il. This is mafa'il. Another is what? Ma'na. It gives you what? Ma'anin. You have madin. It gives us mawadin. That's fa'ilu. So do you get? You have yadun. And what's the plural? Aidin. Af'ulu. Do you guess now? Mother killer. Yes, that's the jamu killer. We also have aidin. Do you get? It give us what? This jamu you see here, it also produces another jamu. This jamu is called jamu li jamu. Do you get? A jamu can also give jamu, like torik. The plural is turuk. That turuk too also have its plural. What's the plural? Turukot. So this aidin too. So the plural is now what? Ayadin. Can see fa'alilu. So it's also what? Manqoos. Do we get now? So there's a mistake here. It's plural of defective nouns in the following pattern, not plural of suffix. Suffix here is a mistake. Please, let's take notes. So that's that. So they say the declaration analysis will be treated in part 2 of the discussing inshallah. So when we tomorrow, and that's on Thursday, when we are looking, we go back to our textbook. So we treat the I'rab of manqoos inshallah. May Allah accept it from us as an act of ibadah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Shalla la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. So let's watch and share to others. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.